Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
It is Sally Wurr time. Yeah, we're talking amazing coach, amazing author, great, amazing woman. She's here today to talk more about the work she does and how she can help you really live your best life. I mean, that's what you do, just her energy alone. You do the introduction. Go ahead, Sally.
Sure. Sally Wurr. That's SALLYWURR.com. If you want to grab a free gift that I've got for everybody, which is 5 Steps to Discovering You, just go to www.sallywurr.com/work with me. That's the best place to find me. That's the best place to connect with me. I'm also on Facebook. It's those are my favorite places to hang out anyway, when I'm
Oh,
you know.
well, I'm glad we're hanging out here today. What do we
Me
have in
too.
mind? It's always a treat.
So much, right? I mean, it's just every time you think you got something, then something else comes up. I mean, we just finished the first official holiday weekend to break out for summer, and I don't know about where you're at, but it was beautiful here in Denver, which is where I'm at. I'm actually in a southern suburb of Denver, and it's just I think when we move into summertime, people start taking stock, right? We're kind of at that halfway point through the year. It's hard to believe that we're there already. It's for me, I just like it that it's going to move into summer because I'm a summer person. But I just think people just gather around and start thinking about summer reading for one thing, right? I mean, I don't know why people want to read just only during the summer. I read year round, but you know, I got a few books that people are really interested in. Amazon, they can get a nice ebook if they're inclined. I collaborate with a lot of other authors as well, and a lot of other business people and coaches, and we just launched a new
Congrats.
book of influence, and it's with Brian Tracy and Jill Lublin and a few other people, but it is based off of
Ah,
um, it's based off of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence Others.
wow.
And so this is book one. Love the cover, and it is one of four. So this was the first one, and we just launched it down in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was fabulous down there. But bottom line is this book was about authentic communication, and I think that's what I tried to delve into with my book Power of Awakening, was the authentic communication that you have with yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm always talking about life as a journey, and it is what you make of it. And there's three things that we can't control, right? In life, there's three things we can't control. We can't control other people's feelings,
Mm-hmm.
their actions, their beliefs, or their thoughts.
Okay.
So when we start worrying about what do people think of us, because we all do, right?
Yeah.
We all in the back of our minds, why isn't she or he talking to me? Or we get into our own heads about people's thoughts about who we are.
Yeah.
And in reality, 90% of the people out there could care less.
Yeah.
They care when you're right in front of them, but they're busy with their own head trash, right? Their own
Yeah.
things about who do they need to meet and what do they need to do, and on and on and on it goes. So pay attention to other people's feelings and how their body language is read in front of you. But really, I wrote Power of Awakening so we could all dig into our own minds and our own hearts and figure out what makes us tick
Yeah.
and what makes us happy. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you. And then the second thing is you can't control the past.
Yeah.
It's gone. We have the memories of our past, right?
Yeah.
And good memories, bad memories. Hopefully, the bad memories give us lessons to not repeat. Say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, been there, done that. Don't do that one again. And when
Yep.
we see those clues pop up, we go, wasn't that a lesson I learned like 3 years ago? We don't need to go there again.
True. Exactly.
And then, time. People are always trying to control time, and it's like, you learn that, teach it to us, because
It's
you know,
true, right?
time just goes away. And you know, I mean, one of the things I've been talking to people a lot about is legacy. You know, and my third book, which you know, it's close to edit, Book of Legacy, which is the third book in the series. It's Power of Awakening, Power of Purpose, and then Power of Legacy. And you know, three hits, but you know, we're always a lot of people just think of legacy as being all about, you know, how much money you can accumulate in your lifetime. And I like to think, well, yeah, I think that we're all after the almighty dollar, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the way that we can do the things we need to do. And, you know, our mortgage companies really don't like it if we skip a mortgage payment. And we don't want our house to burn down. So we got to pay our homeowners insurance, you know, all those things. So we all need money. But when we're thinking about our legacy, what does that mean, right?
Yeah.
And I was blessed. I grew up in my family history is that every generation on my dad's side believed in leaving money for the next generation. So they have stepping stones, right? And they have a financial gain to start off with. Now, I'm not saying that I mean, I'm not talking we're Carnegie level of wealth or any of the other big names that are out there, but you know, what is the wealth that you're leaving? Is it, you know, leaving monetary wealth? It's leaving knowledge wealth. You know, I like to come back to you because you've got children, and you know, all those gifts that you give to your children on a daily basis are part of their living legacy for you.
Yeah.
You know, everything that I still share with my daughter who's 38, but all the things that I shared with her during her life growing up, those are all bits and pieces of legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know, when your boys go out on their own, my daughter's already out on her own, but every once in a while we have conversations and they come back to something that she either saw me do, heard me say, or a lesson she learned because of something from that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when I talk about legacy and the power of legacy, money is one microcosm of the legacy that we leave for the people around us, and what do we want to be remembered for?
Yeah.
You know, you know, I always go back to the acronym we've shared in previous shows, and that acronym is the work acronym. It's how I live my life.
Work,
It's
work, work,
work,
work.
WORK.
You got the song in my head again.
And it's not bad, right? It's not a negative. Most of us, even if we don't have a job that we go to, we still do something. We don't, most of us don't sit in front of the TV all day eating bonbons.
Yeah.
Gotta pay for the bonbons. Someone's gonna pay for them. So be willing to step outside my comfort zone. So whenever I get comfortable, I try to do something uncomfortable
Yeah.
because that's how I get used to it. I try to stay organized. As you can see, my wall behind me is almost bare. I literally cleaned my office completely out over you know, earlier last week, and I'm slowly bringing back in those things that do something for me,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes we have to clear out the clutter,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that means. And in my world, it was my office, and bring in new things to inspire us and be organized about it and build relationships. You know, it's none of us get where we're going without that. And relationships are different things. Like you and I, we have a connection now that we would have never, you and I probably would have
Never. Yeah.
never ever in a million
It's so
years
true. Yeah.
met, but now we both have each other's names, and when we see each other or we hear each other or something comes in our, oh, I remember when.
It's so true. And
And
oh, go ahead.
no, that's go ahead.
No, it's some people I feel like are meant to be karmically crossed. Like I'm deeper into that stuff too, where everything happens for a reason, that we're here each and every day. And it's so amazing that the world has changed. Yeah, with technology, because I would never think I would talk to someone from another state. Like, you know, my goodness, like, our near my state is like New Jersey. It's hard to have friends in New Jersey, let alone in Denver. Like it's just amazing.
It absolutely, and to be on video with them, right?
like real time.
Real
Yes.
time, real time. This is real stuff.
Remember the old phones that were like on the wall, like kind of like this one over here, but like one that used to be like on the wall, like
Yeah.
with this, yeah, yeah, and then the rotary. Like, how do things have advanced and changed? Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
It's like putting children into the room with a rotary phone, or I remember when our daughter was younger, we have a 1972 Olds Cutlass
Oh
442.
my
I
god.
still have it in my garage, but first time her dad took her for a ride in that, she's probably 7 or 8 years old, and she hops in the front seat, and she's looking at her dad saying, how do I roll down the window? That would be that little manual down, that little crank down on the side, and she couldn't even reach it with her seatbelt on. And by the way, if she didn't have a shoulder harness, it was high,
I was gonna say there's probably no seatbelts, or like, yeah, they used to have it.
just a lap. And I mean, she had to unhook that to lean forward to, and she's, oh, this is hard. She'd been riding in my car. I had automatic windows, right? Just push the button, right? Life,
Gosh.
life. I
Yeah.
mean, but there again, you
It's
think about,
yeah.
and then so build relationships, willingness to step outside the box, be organized, build relationships with people,
Didn't you?
and be
Well, I know you did the relationship building thing. It was in Cancun a few weeks ago, right? You were in
yes,
Mexico, and you were doing
yes.
another one last week. Was that?
Yes, a week ago I was in Scottsdale,
That was. Oh, that was the Scotts. Okay, when you mentioned Scott. Okay, sorry. Team building. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
and that really was too, because see, those people that I co-wrote this book with, I have never met any of. Well, there's two authors in the book that are Colorado authors that I do know, but the rest of there's 33 authors. The rest of them I've only met video. We have a couple masterminds that we're a part of, and there again, it's business people sharing. And every week we have a different, someone's in the hot seat, right? Someone's in the hot seat with a question. I was in the hot seat a couple of weeks ago, and I can't remember what it was, but something was, something's always going on, right? I mean, that's life. That's how life is. And you put it out there and you let other people chime in on what they think of that, or what they would do with that, or how the twists and turns of life go. And but the one thing that's fabulous is that we build these relationships again. We see each other, and that we're kind. Most of us are kind people. I don't think anybody is born with a bad, mean gene. I think mean genes are created based off of what people have learned, and how people have treated them, and how they've treated other people. So being kind, I think, is something that we all need to make sure that we're keeping ourselves in check, right? We're keeping
Yeah.
ourselves in check. But even Scottsdale. So Scottsdale, I walk into the hotel, right? And luggage in both hands, and I look up, and there's one of the people from my group. And I said, "Oh, Erin, it's Erin Lay, and she's actually in Long Island, your neck of the woods." And I mean, we would not have known it was each other had we not seen each other on Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
But
God.
everybody stayed at the same hotel, so we had all that before, during, after collaborations going on, and that's, I think, when we're talking about power of awakening and where we want to go with our lives, and who we are, and how do we manifest things, and bring the universe in to give us everything that we want, or need in life. It's through collaborations with other people, and to be able to be in the same spot with everybody, having a drink, we went out to Mexican food, we had tacos, and I mean, we're in the Southwest, right? So that's a big deal. And just being able to just be, three of the things that I even have it on a board by me, not to switch gears here a little bit, but be brave, be strategic, and be involved.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when you and I are on this call together, we're listening to each other and sharing ideas, but one of us has to be listening, one of us has to be talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we only have 30 minutes.
And
So
sometimes we step on each other. It happens.
it happens because we all have thoughts and stuff that's going on. But I'm at that stage of life where I can manifest pretty much whatever I want and make things happen.
Mhm.
If I decide I want, Aaron says, "Hey, Sally, we got something going on in Long Island, fly on out." I can fly on out if I want to, right? I
Yeah.
can, and I think you went away for the holidays as well, and it's hopefully you had a fabulous time, and it's to be present and be to just to be who you are and be what you want to be, and um, there's just so many, I'm on Facebook with a lot of groups, and there's a lady, the Fabulous at 50 plus, I think is what it's
Mhm.
called. Anybody that's over age 50, and mostly a lot of women. And the lady, they put things out to the audience of, what are your thoughts on this?
Mhm.
Those are, can I just tell you, Jill, those are some brave folks, because when you have stuff going on in your life, be it on a more negative side, people can be so unkind. And this is like, I'm going, oh, anyway, uh, what was I? Anyhow, so three things you can control: the way we treat others, so be kind; who we spend our time with, which I'm very
Mhm.
careful with; and taking care of our own physical, mental, and emotional needs. And we need to be aware as we're moving into the summer months. I see a lot of people that get anxious and angry when people take vacation. I'm going, as business owners, we've got to take time away and just chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just chill.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more I need.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just an afternoon. But there again, coming back to, if you've studied the book at all, Power of Awakening, you'll find the steps in there, and in Power of Purpose, that show you ways that you can get better in touch with who you are,
So true.
and where you're going, and be in that driver's seat of your life, because
You never know. Things could happen. Unfortunately, you shared your experiences and what
yes,
you went through losing your husband. You just never know how precious things life is, and right?
yeah, we're here today, but we have no guarantees we're going to be here an hour from now. Just don't. And it doesn't matter, because well, I'm not old enough to worry about that. I'm sorry, but
Ah,
I, age has nothing to do with our time here on this playing field.
no.
And so we need to be cognizant about what we're doing, and if we are in control of where we want to go, or and do what we want to do. And
Then, yeah.
I mean, people so many times say, but I know that my spouse is mean, or gets drunk, or
Mhm.
has an alcohol issue, or has all whatever these addictions are, right? But I don't want to be by myself.
Mhm.
The first lesson I learned at a very young age was how to entertain myself.
Yeah.
Of course, living in Minot, North Dakota for 5.5 years probably did a lot for that. When you live in a cold place like North Dakota, and at the time, TV had two stations, and neither one of them
Oh,
worked
the
because
rat's ears and the static. Yeah.
North Dakota has blizzards all the time, right? I mean, it's just blizzards. There was no TV there. It's better now. I'm sure it is. I don't know. I'm not going to go there to find out. But back in those days, I had to learn to entertain myself. And as an adult, it has served me very well. I don't have a need. I want to be around people, and I want to be around people that are going relatively in the same direction I am. Uh, but that also we can entertain each other, right?
Mhm.
I, I don't always talk. I do a lot, but a lot of times I'm more contemplative, and I like to listen to what other people are doing and what they're saying. And I mean, there's just so much to learn from other people out there. I mean, I think your life is absolutely fascinating. You have done I Googled you. I'm sorry.
That's what everyone says. My mom used to, when she was alive, and I say, look, I'm like, no, like mom's like used to call me jack of all trades, master of none. It was a compliment though. She was like, because I
Yes,
did a little of everything. I get it. I'm like, but I was a master. I have a master's degree in communication. I'm a master of something. But no, it's true. And I look at my life and my sister and her husband like, oh, well, you've been here, you've done that, and I'm like, no, it doesn't mean anything to me. That was just normal just because I met this one or interviewed this one or traveled here. Like to me, it's like, no, my life has always been wanting to have a family and a significant other, and I can never get that part right. I finally had the kids, had to do it alone for the first one, but like that was my goal and drive. So everyone could, looks at your life and they can judge and say, wow, wow, wow. But then you get to know the real person inside. It's nothing to even do with that. Isn't that true? What you find out, right? We all think,
absolutely.
oh my gosh, she's an international best-selling author. Whoa, I wish I could be that. Like we all have our, strong points, our weaknesses, but people look up to you the same way that you say you look up to me and I just say, no, but my job is just like, whatever you do, it's just is cool. It's just as mundane. It's not just, but people like, I try to explain that to people and they're like, really? I'm like you met Brad Pitt. I'm like, you're plumbing under the sink. I'm like, it's the same thing. We all have a job, a skill. It's just, and my son's like talking. My son, just before we went on the airplane last week, he's 8. He's like, Mom, I was getting some cash together to go on the vacation. I said, I didn't know if I need cash, and I don't do cash, but he's in my room and I'm counting. I got like about 100 singles, like, for tip money and stuff. And I got some
Yeah,
20s. He's like, where'd you get all this money? He's 8, right? And I'm like, oh, from working. He's like, what? He's like, talking is a talent. It was hysterical. I had to get it on. I, of course, made a video and then sent it to my sister. Talking is, I'm like, I guess. I'm like, I never looked at it that way. I'm like, but yes. It's like all you do is sit there and talk to people and ask what they do and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's a talent. I can't. It was just so cute. Sorry to digress, but it's so funny.
that right. I mean, because that's what it's all about. And I agree with you. People say, well, you've done this and you did that. And I said, we don't think it's a big deal because it's what we enjoy doing. But what we
Exactly.
do, but if everybody understood that every person on the planet, what they do that seems commonplace is extraordinary to other people.
It's so true. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
extraordinary. And some of us can live loud, some of us can live big. You've certainly lived big compared to a lot of people, but they forget what it took to do that.
Yeah.
You had to get outside a comfort zone to do that.
True. True.
And I I just think it's and so now I try to always remember that what I do and what those around me do is extraordinary by general life standards. I mean, people get up in the morning, they go to a job that they may or may not like, come
Yeah.
home, feed the kids, bathe the kids, make dinner, go to bed, get up and start all over again without having these moments that we have,
Yeah.
And I love that your son says, you get paid for talk.
It's like talking is a talent. And he had this little like accent. I'm like, where did this little Nashville accent come from? It was so cute.
Cute. And it's how cool that he's observant enough to say, all you do is talk all day. You mean you make money that way? Yes. Yes, you can make anything. You can. When my daughter got out of college and said she was going to be a jet broker, I went, what's that?
Yeah.
Just mom buying and selling corporate jets. I go, where were you? Where did you hear about that? And now for me, the world of private jetting is just it's a commonplace, right? I mean, it's a
Hmm.
conversation that 20, 30 years ago I would have never have had with somebody. Uh, but it what children don't understand and what adults even don't understand is that
Yeah.
if you've got the ability, you can do anything that you want.
It's so true. Oh,
You just gotta get in the driver's seat of your own life and awaken that power that's within you.
and that's what it's about. Yes. Awakened with our author and our coach. Sally's helping people all over. Great person to talk to. Really lifts me up each and every time, and it's been a while. So thank you for that. See, she's so uplifting, just like I'm sitting here like this because my feet are killing me. I'm in Indian style talking to you.
And that's okay, right? We're in the comfort of our own home offices.
Like this.
Bless us. And we can be barefoot, and I've got shorts on, and no one sees it, and it's all good. And this is what we need to do, is we have to hang out with people that we enjoy hanging out with, and there's so much to life. There's just so much, and if I could just reach in and touch people and just say, life is about designing the life that you want, and it doesn't take a lot of work to get there. So tweak there, and that's why I call myself a life design coach, right? Because get the drama llamas out of your life and figure out what it is you want and get comfortable. Yeah,
well, help us get there. Sally, how can we reach you?
SallyWurr.com is my website. You can do Sally@SallyWurr.com as an email address. Sally Wurr, SALLYWURR @gmail. It's another way. Hook up with me, reach out to me on Facebook.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Always a pleasure having you. Thank you,
Yes.
sweetheart. Have a great day.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.